What's going on, family? Today we're going to talk about this article right here, talking about the history of Bitcoin halvings and why this time might look different, because this is the first time ever that the Bitcoin halving is going to occur right after a new all-time high. This is an article written from Blockworks. Now, you guys, if you just didn't know, the next Bitcoin halving is anticipated to take place on or around April the 20th. Okay. 2024, reducing the block reward from 6.25 Bitcoins to 3.12 Bitcoin. So it's going to restrict the amount of Bitcoin entering the market. So let's go. Historically, every Bitcoin having a disinflationary mechanism inscribed in the currency's code by Satoshi Nakamoto has come a year or two before a new all-time high. This is partly because a halving cuts the block reward paid to miners in half, reducing the number of new Bitcoin being created and theoretically making Bitcoin more scarce. Okay, so the less Bitcoin that's hitting the market, and if people wants to really buy the Bitcoin, thereby it's going to increase the value of Bitcoin. For example, with the latest halving to come, the block reward will fall from 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 Bitcoin. The three previous Bitcoin halvings occurred in the run-up to an all-time high, which then gave way to a price drawdown until the next halving helped ignite another rally. But the upcoming halving has broken that trend. For the first time in its history, Bitcoin set an all-time high price in the immediate run-up to the halving when it topped $70,000 this month. You guys can see that even there, Bitcoin has reached $73,794. Blockworks examined how Bitcoin's price responded to prior halvings. Here's what we found. All right, let's break this down. Blockwork, what you guys got? November 28, 2022, it went from 50 Bitcoin to 25. Nearly 4 years after Bitcoin's Genesis block was mined, the network underwent its first halving. Okay. Bitcoin, which had been traded around $12 in the lead up to the first halving in November 2012, jumped to $229 by April 2013. Then climbed to roughly $1,132 by the following November. Here it is right there. In the wake of the collapse of the Japan-based exchange Mt. Gox, Bitcoin's price would toll away in the hundreds of dollars range for the next 3 years. Then we come to the next halving, July 9th, 2016. It went from 25 Bitcoin to just 12.5 Bitcoin. Then by 2016, a host of new cryptocurrencies had just popped up. Shortly after the second halving, Ethereum would undergo a hard fork in the wake of the catastrophic DAO hack. Bitcoiners remain split on how the second halving would affect Bitcoin's price. Quote, right now, I'm disappointed, end quote, a user wrote on the Bitcoin Talk forum a few hours before the block reward was cut in half. Bitcoin's price gradually rose for a few months after the second halving before picking up momentum in May 2017. By December 2017, Bitcoin hit a new high of roughly $19,188, a market event that came a year and a half after the halving. Let's get to the next one. This occurred in May 11, 2020. By the third halving, Bitcoin was more than a decade old and had become more of a known commodity. Quote, hey guys, I think Bitcoin is halving today. Not sure if you heard, end quote, a new crypto exchange founder named Sam Bankman-Fried tweeted. The market's publication of TD Ameritrade published a piece wondering whether the halving was already priced in. Here we go. This was around the time, I guess you can say, more mainstream media, Fox Business, CNBC, other prominent financial media companies began talking about Bitcoin. Once again, the price wasn't priced in for this Bitcoin halving, because Bitcoin's price rose from around $80,500 at the May 2020 halving to over $40,000 by January 2021. What you're seeing is how once you restrict the amount of supply entering any market, it leads to a run up. It leads to that particular instrument increasing in value because you're not getting as much as what you used to get. So it went from $8,500 in May 2020 to $40,000 in the next year or so. Bitcoin topped $63,000 in April before peaking above $67,000 in November 2021. So it just went up ever since May 2020 all the way until November 2021. That really garnered a whole lot of attention from the traditional financial world. They really began to pay attention. It's like, look, we had to start looking at Bitcoin. So here it is now on this current halving that is due to occur in April. It seems like a fool's errand to question whether the next Bitcoin halving will lead to a price run at this point, but the circumstances are noticeably different this time around. How so? When the decade-long fight for the Securities and Exchange Commission's approval on spot Bitcoin ETF resolved in January, Bitcoin embarked on an ongoing bull run to an all-time high, 73 grand. This is before the halving has even occurred. This is uncharted territory for halvings, which previously came with Bitcoin's price far below its prior peak. So the question is, do you think since the price in Bitcoin is trading at these all-time high levels that we'll see a market move down, or will the market just continue to go up? Now, if history is a predictor of these Bitcoin halvings, we will have to say that price look like it's going to continue to go up, right? It's not hard. It's not rocket science, especially after you see Bitcoin being reduced from 6 to 3. So even these miners who have this some have huge farms, mining operations, and you're only going to get 3.125 Bitcoin. Is it worth even mining? It's going to translate over into more and more people actually utilizing Bitcoin rather than people buying it and just simply holding it in their soft wallet, hard wallet, cold storage, wherever they're going to place the Bitcoin. Eventually, Bitcoin is going to have to be used in order for these mining operations to remain viable, in order for them to operate. Because if people are just going to sit and hold Bitcoin, then how can these miners continue to work once these block rewards continue to dwindle and get smaller and smaller? So I think that's going to be an interesting transition between people coming in and just simply buying Bitcoin and sitting on it to, okay, now we actually need to use Bitcoin. So here's the price chart right now with Bitcoin. You guys can see that our price prediction has been on this chart ever since March the 5th, and we've anticipated higher prices. We're there. The only thing that I can tell you is be careful, because this market is definitely hitting these sell zones too much. We want to see this market break this sell zone right here. It attempted to break it yesterday, and as you can see, it didn't work. So we have people here around $73,000, $74,000 that is impeding Bitcoin's price to continue to go up. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, let's look at this on a different chart before I go. So here it is on the weekly chart. Currently, I'm not too bearish. I'm still looking more towards Bitcoin going up because on these weekly bars here, you can see that price did dip. Like, it did go down, but look at where the market ended the week. It ended off of the lows here. It ended off of the lows there, and it ended off of the lows here. So someone is coming in on every dip and is buying up this particular cryptocurrency. I'm sorry, that was on the 5-day chart. Here it is on the weekly. Here's Bitcoin on the 2 weeks. There it is on the 3, 5, and a monthly. Okay, so I'm not changing my price prediction, but I definitely want to put you all on notice that yes, this sell zone, it needs to be broken to the upside. If it doesn't, then you're already sitting in a location to where you can come and skim some of that off. It's already 6.2% there. All right, so that is it. Give me your thoughts about the block rewards, about the Bitcoin halving. Do you think price is going to continue its massive move higher, like we're currently on now in Bitcoin, or do you think the price is going to go down after the halving? Let me know. Make sure you maintain the profitability, and as always, trade different.